time does the movie start? Oh, Hare Krishna. Really? It's already going? Hare Krishna. Devoti del mondo. So are we singing now, or do we have to stop singing now, or how does that work?
I think you continue singing.
Huh? 7. Okay.
Okay, so let's sing.
Do you want to sing?
Early? Bajare bajare ama mandati manda.
Bajare bajare ama manati manda.
Bajavane bajandina gatina re.
Bajandina gatina re. looks like he's abandoned.
He's
Hare Krishna, Jai Guru Jai Jai Gaura Hari. Any other songs? Could sing more songs then, couldn't we? Huh? VivaVari Shesha? Maybe? Or something else?
Do we want to Chaitanya?
Prabhu, sing, please, yes.
Okay, can I have the...
Yes.
It's 127.
Oh, see, he's all set. Brilliant. That's what we like.
Doyo Nitai Chaitanya Bolena
Chayamaman, Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman.
Nachayamaman, Nachayamaman.
Nachayamaman, Nachayamaman.
Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman.
Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman.
Nachayamaman, Nachayamaman.
Nachayamaman, Nachayamaman, Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman. Hey, Dayal Tonai, hey. Ke Prema Day, Dayal Tonai, hey. Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman. Nachayamaman, Nachayamaman. Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bolena Chayamaman.
Oh, that song is so lovely. Haribol, Nachayamaman.
Hare Krishna. We could just chant a quick Sadhu Somyastakam all together. Just a quick one. 148. 148.
Okay, you play the drum.
No, we'll just chant it together.
Oh, just sing it together. Just the English.
No.
Not singing.
No, we'll do the Italian afterwards. So we'll chant it together. Krishna Kirtana Gana Natana Paro Prema Mritam Bonidi. You'll sing it. There he is.
Only my head.
Hare Krishna.
Don't abandon us, Maharaj.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Natana Paro Premamritam Bonidhi Dira Dira Jana Priya Priyakaro Nimatsaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripavara Bhuvi Bhuvo Bhavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako Lokanamitikadino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Parara Vinda Bhajana Nandena Matariko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Shri Gauranga Gunanavana Navidha Shraddhashramri Janvito Papota Panikrintano Tanuvita Govinda Ganamritai Anandam Buddhivaranahika Nipuno Kaivalya Nishtakaro Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Chakvatu Namashesha Mandalapati Shenim Sadatu Chabat Utvadina Ganesha Kau Karunaya Gopina Kantashito Gopi Bhavar Samrita Bilari Kalola Magno Muhur Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Kujat Kokila Hamsa Sarasagana Kine Mayura Kule Nana Ratna Nivada Mula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Mahanisham Prabhajata Jivata Doyo Muda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Shankya Purvaka Nama Gana Nativi Kalavashani Krito Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijito Chatyanta Dino Chayo Radha Krishna Gunasmite Madhurima Nandena Samohito Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Sivate Premon Madhavasada Shesha Dashaya Grastau Pramato Sada Gayanto Chakadahare Gunavaram Bhava Vibhuto Muda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Hey Radhe Braja Devi Ke Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vanye Kuta Goshanta Vitisavato Brajapure Eda Mahavivalo Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Six Goswamis of Vrindavan ki jai, Shri ki jai. So just had a little side parikrama through Radha Damodar temple and the temples of the Goswamis. Before we move to
Well, we have Chaitanya Charitamrita and Revealed Truth, and we have Keshavananda Prabhu, Narendra Mohan Prabhu, Sri
Yes, come on.
And so you can, so the only thing, Keshavananda is breakfast at 8 sharp, so that's our limitation. And do you want to know where we are in Chaitanya Charitamrita or Revealed Truth?
Yes, Revealed Truth. I didn't. Yes, because did we read from Revealed Truth yesterday?
Yesterday,
I don't think we did.
Probably did.
Oh.
Yes, it was very short, just the last 5 minutes of class, I think.
Shows you how much attention I'm paying.
Yesterday, I have Revealed Truth open right now.
Okay.
And it's Vidhi Marga, Raga Marga. And do you have Chaitanya Charitamrita open where we were?
I might do.
As I can tell you. Or if you want to start with Revealed Truth, I have it right here.
Okay, what verse were we on in Chaitanya Charitamrita? 55 or something like that?
I'll let you know. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya
Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Exactly, 55.
What a show.
And I'll set this up so you have Revealed Truth on here, just ready, if you like. So, but you do as you wish. You got yourselves, you got the devotees, and they'll be happy to have a live program in whatever way you want to make it alive.
Hare Krishna. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Special day today. No, we will give to them.
Shri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. Okay, so we better set off because Mahaprabhu's going through the Jarikanda forest. And I can't even hear, now when I hear this pastime, I always think of our dear Mongol Maharaj, because he also walked from Puri to Vrindavan, and it took 2 months, something like that. But when I was talking to him about it, he said, he's one of our very humble, sweet Bengali sannyasis, very sweet. He's Mongol Maharaj. And he said, yes, Prabhu, I did, but I'm very bad. I had to wear shoes. He was so fun. Hare Krishna, Jai Mongol Maharaj.
Jai
Gurudev. Okay, so we're going 55. We're at. So, Vana deki Brahma haya e Vrindavana, Shaila deki mana haya e Govardhana. So we've definitely gone into Braja. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the Jarikanda forest, he took it for granted that it was Vrindavan. When he passed over the hills, he took it for granted that they were Govardhan. So he's got that, he's seeing that way. And when we know that Gurudev would come places and be like that, wouldn't he? In SoCal, he'd see Govardhan. Yahan nadi dekita manaya kalindi Mahapremavesha nache Prabhu parakandi. Similarly, whenever Mahaprabhu saw a river, he immediately accepted it as the river Jamuna. Thus, while in the forest, he was filled with great ecstatic love, and he danced and fell down crying. Patayate Bhattacharya Shaka Mula Phala Yahanye Payana Tan Layana Shakala. So what's he collecting in the forest? What vegetable? Shaka. Along the way, Balabhadra Bhattacharya collected all kinds of spinach, roots and fruit whenever possible. Jai Srila Ki Jai. Ye grame rahena Prabhu tataya brahmana panchashata jana ashikara nimantrana. Whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited a village, a few Brahmins, 5 or 7, would come and extend invitations to the Lord. It's Vedic culture, so beautiful. And to this day, it's a long many, and these things have happened before, since. But I remember going to Mathura with Rishabdi. Gurudev had sent us on a little parikrama with Rishabdi, who now Paramahansa Maharaj. You know, Sudha was there. It was maybe 20 of us or something like that. So off we went to Mathura, to Bhuteshwar and some of the temples of Mathura. And it's early, it's breakfast time basically. And then we happened to meet on the street devotees from Mathura, who immediately bring us all to their house, 20 of us, and we sit down and have kirtan while ladies and people scurry about, and within 20 minutes there's puris and halva and sabji, just such a sweet and beautiful culture of serving the Vaishnavas. So we were fortunate to be there. Wonderful. Keha ana anidea Bhattacharya stane kea dugda dadi kea grita kanda ane. Some people would bring ghee and deliver it to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Others would bring milk and yogurt. And still others would bring ghee and sugar. Yaham vipranahitan sutra mahajan ashisha bhattacharya kare nimantran. So in some villages there were no brahmanas. Nonetheless, devotees born in non-Brahman families came and extended invitations to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Then there is a purport there that we can do as homework, do our homework, catch up on the purports. Bhattacharya pakakare vanya vyanjana prabhura ananditamana. Balabhadra used to cook all kinds of vegetables gathered from the forest, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to accept these preparations.
It's a nice purport.
Huh?
In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that these non-devotee Brahmins weren't born in Brahmin families, but by their quality they were accepted as Brahmins. But they were called Shudra Brahmins. But they were accepted like that in that time. Wasn't that this is some new idea?
What? Good.
Balabhadra Bhattacharya used to keep a stock of food grain that would last from 2 to 4 days. Where there were no people, he would cook the grain and prepare vegetables, spinach, roots, and flowers collected from the forest. Paramashantosha prabodha vanya bhojana mahashukapaya edina ratena niyajana. So the Lord was always very happy to eat these forest vegetables. And he was even happier when he had an opportunity to stay in a solitary place. Hare Krishna. Bhattacharya seva kari sneha yache dasha tana vipra bahi jala pacha bahirvasha. Bhattacharya was so affectionate to the Lord that he was rendering service just like a menial servant. His assistant Brahmana carried the water pot and garments. The Lord used to bathe 3 times a day in the warm water of the waterfall. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made the following statement. Shuna Bhattacharya amigelana bahudesha vana pati dukhera khan nahi pailesha. My dear Bhattacharya, I have travelled very far through the forest, and I have not even slightly received any trouble. Krishna kripalu amaya bhahuta kripa kaila vana pate ani amaya bharashukadila. Krishna is very merciful, especially to me. He has shown his mercy by bringing me on this path through the forest. Thus he has given me great pleasure. Purave Vrindavana yaita karilana vichara mata ganga bhakta gane dekive ekabara. Before this I decided to go to Vrindavan, and on the way to see my mother, the river Ganga, and other devotees once again. Bhaktagana sange avashya karive milana, Bhaktagane sange laya yabe vrindavana. I thought that once again I would see and meet all the devotees and take them with me to Vrindavan. Eta bhavi gaura desha karilo gaman, mata ganga bhakte deki shukke hailaman. Thus I went to Bengal, and I was very happy to see my mother, the Ganga, and the devotees. Bhaktagana laya tabe chalilana range laksha koti lokatan haila amasange. However, when I started for Vrindavan, many thousands and millions of people gathered and began to go with me. Million. And what was it, Gurudev or Guru Maharaj, you said? It was about... Oh, it was when the Ganga was full of people and everything. Yes. And when we read these descriptions of thousands and millions and thinking, is that some poetic license for a lot of people? But then when they saw Gandhiji's activities, and he would go to the Ganga or wherever, and 1 million people would go with him. So why not?
They gather from all around the whole countryside.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, hundreds of millions of people. Sanatana mukhe Krishna ama shipaila tahe vignakari vana patelaya aira. In this way I was going to Vrindavan with a big crowd, but through the month of Sanatan, Krishna taught me a lesson. Thus, by making some impediment, he has brought me to Vrindavan on the path through the forest. Krishna is an ocean of mercy. He is especially merciful to the poor and fallen. Without his mercy, there is no possibility of happiness. Oh, we have to read that then. Kripara Samudra Dinahina Dayamai Krishna Kripa Vina Kona Shuka Nahi Hai Bhattacharya Alingya Tahara Kahila Tomara Prasada Ami Eta Shuka Paila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Balabhaja Bhattacharya and told him, "It is only by your kindness that I am now so happy."
Wow.
Hare Krishna.
Successful in service.
Yeah. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So wonderful. Where else we hear things like this? The Lord hugging his servant. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Savakarana Karanam. That one. Krishna hugging his dear servant and saying, "You've made me so happy." How is that possible?
It's the dignity of the divine service.
The dignity of the, yes, perfectly captured in poetry by Guru Maharaj. The dignity of the divine servant.
Gurudev also wrote a book titled Dignity.
That was Gurudev's book, wasn't it?
Gurudev's
Yes,
book.
right.
It's a beautiful book. He's talking about himself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I want to read it.
Yes, we need to read again now. I'm thinking I haven't read that book for some time. The Dignity of the Divine Servitor is on the homework list now. So a small book, not a long book. Balabhaja Bhattacharya replied, "My dear Lord, you are Krishna himself, and therefore you are merciful. I am a fallen living entity, but you have bestowed a great favour upon me. Sir, I am most fallen, yet you have brought me with you. Showing great mercy, you have accepted food prepared by me. You have made me your carrier, Garuda. Though I am no better than a condemned crow, Hare Krishna. Thus, you are the independent personality of Godhead, the original Lord. Adhama kakera kaila Garuda saman. Svatantra Ishvara tumi swayam Bhagavan." So you can do anything. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tangahang vande paramananda madhavam. Paramananda madhavam. Where did it go? The Supreme Personality of Godhead has the form of Satchidananda Vigraha, transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him who turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Lord. Jai. Say something more?
Well, I was hearing a commentary about this. Srila Guru Maharaj was explaining that the environment gives us our service. Mm-hmm. He was saying that, and he's saying, yesterday you made me dance, and today my dancing, you have stopped it. Mm. And then he says, by the desire of the Lord, the surrendered servant, who cannot speak, he's dumb, he becomes very talkative, and a lame man jumps over the mountain. And it will come just like that and then stop as he likes, and the devotee's just ready to do what is coming to him. This is really sweet talk. Actually, I think it's on YouTube. There's some beautiful things on YouTube. Oh, really wonderful videos.
Yesterday there was puppet show. Who is the puppeteer? Who is the puppeteer? Krishna is supreme puppeteer. Make everyone dance.
Make me dance, make me dance, make me dance.
In this way, Balabhaja Bhattacharya offered his prayers to the Lord. By rendering service to him in ecstatic love, he pacified the Lord's mind. E mata nana shuke prabhu aila kashi, madhyana snana kaila manikanikaya ashi. Finally, the Lord arrived with great happiness to the holy place called Kashi. There he took his bath in the bathing ghat, known as Manikanika. Kashi is another name for Benares, Varanasi, a place of pilgrimage since time immemorial. Two rivers named Ashi and Varun merge there. Manikanika is famous because, according to the opinion of great personalities, a bejeweled earring fell there from the ear of Lord Vishnu. According to some, it fell from the ear of Lord Shiva. The word mani means jewel, and kanika means from the ear. According to some, Lord Vishwanath is the great physician who cures the disease of material existence by delivering a person through the ear, which receives the vibration of the holy name of Lord Rama. Because of this holy place is called Manikarnika. It is said that there is no better place than where the river Ganga flows. And the bathing ghat known as Manikarnika is especially sanctified because it is very dear to Lord Vishwanath. In the Kashi Kanda, it is said, according to this passage from the Kashi Kanda, one who gives up his body at Manikarnika is liberated simply by remembering Lord Shiva's name. Jai Kashidam. These places, Hare Krishna. At that time, Tapan Mishra was taking his bath in the Ganga, and he was astonished to see the Lord there. Se kale Tapan Mishra kare Ganga snan, Prabhu deki haila tana, kichu vishmaya gyan. Tapan Mishra then began to speak. I have heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted the renounced order. Thinking this, Tapan Mishra became very jubilant within his heart. He then clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to cry. The Lord raised him up and embraced him. Prabhura charanadhari karane rodan, Prabhu tare utana kaila alingana. Tapan Mishra then took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to visit the temple of Vishveshwara. Visheshwara. Coming from there, they saw the lotus feet of Lord Bindu Madhava. Prabhu la gela Vishveshwara darashane, tabe ashadeki Bindu Madhava charane. And then some purport, the Bindu Madhava temple is the oldest Vishnu temple in Varanasi. At present this temple is known as Vaini Madhava, and it is situated on the bank of the Ganga. Formerly 5 rivers converged there, and they were named Duta Papa, Kirana, Saraswati, Ganga and Jamuna. Now only the river Ganga is visible. The old temple of Bindu Madhava, which was visited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was later dismantled by Aurangzeb, the great Hindu-hating emperor of the Mughal dynasty. In the place of this temple, he constructed a big masjid or mosque. Later, another temple was constructed by the side of the mosque, and this temple is still existing. In the temple of Bindu Madhava there are deities of 400 Narayan and the goddess Lakshmi. In front of these deities is the column of Sri Garuda, and along the side are deities of Lord Ram, Sita, Lakshman and Sri Hanumanji. In the province of Maharashtra is a state known as Satara. During the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the native prince belonged to the Vaishnav cult. Being a Brahmana, he took charge of worshipping the deity. He was known as Srimant Balasaheb Panta Maharaj. The state still bears the expenditure for temple maintenance. The first king in this dynasty to take charge of worship in the temple 200 years ago was Maharaj Jagat Jivan Rao Sahib. Jai. Hare Krishna. You can just picture these Maharajas and their service to the Brahmins and to the deities. Anyone want to say anything? Or ask anything? We're just going on here. Anyway, with great pleasure, Tapan Mishra brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and rendered service to him. Indeed, he began to dance, waving his cloth. Gare lana aila prabhu ke anandita hana, sevakari nityakari vastra udhana. Waving his cloth. He washed the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and afterwards he and his whole family drank the wash water. He also worshipped Balabhaja Bhattacharya and showed him respect. Prabhuda charanodhaka savang se kaila pana, Bhattacharya puja kaila karya samana. I can't think of drinking foot water now. Jai.
Jai Mahaprabhu.
Without thinking of Prithu Prabhu. Were you there?
What?
He's talking about drinking foot water.
No.
So it was in that really big Veda Life festival, and we stayed in that like hotel thing on the. I think you were there. Yeah, you were definitely there. So Madhusudan Maharaj, we're in the room and he's soaking his feet for some reason. It's something with his sport. So he's soaking his feet. He's just soaking his feet. And Prithu comes in. You know Prithu? Prithu comes in. I was so astonished because he walked in the door. He dived. He dived when Maharaj was soaking his feet. Can't be more. And you would expect, because it's Madhusudan Maharaj, to be absolutely mortified. But it was so funny. He just threw his head back and started laughing. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He didn't even think, he's a devotee, he's Prithu. He came and he saw his opportunity and he took it. He just jumped across the room and started. Hare Krishna.
No, I wasn't there.
It was sweet memory. So Balabhaja is taking that water from the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and his whole family.
I remember in the village when we go with Acharya Maharaj preaching and collecting, inviting people in the villages. Still there exists the old tradition to give maximum honor to the guests, especially Sadhu, Acharya Maharaj. And us also as Western, we are not even less than Lecchen. But if you don't pay attention, they make you sit and immediately bring some water to the sadhu, even to us that are associated with the sadhu. And when I wash your feet, worship, and the lady one dry with the air like this. It's like Vishnu, the guest is like Vishnu.
Okay, well, we're a bit behind. We should finish here. Well, we'll let Mahaprabhu should take his lunch. So he's now got nice, clean feet. And Tapan Mishra invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take lunch at his home, and he had Balabhaja Bhattacharya cook. So it's a good place to leave Mahaprabhu taking lunch happily with Tapan Mishra in Kashi Dham, and then tomorrow we can continue the wonderful pastime of being there in Kashi. And then that gives us a few minutes to read. Do you want to read, Mata, from, I think we're from here. Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. And this is Revealed Truth.
Revealed Truth, where are we now?
I think we're starting here, but I don't know how this one goes. Oh, it goes like that as well. So for whatever chapter we're in, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, Jai Shri Revealed Truth ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj
Ki
ki
Jai.
Vidhi Marg and Raga Marg. There is a great difference between the worship of Narayan and his avatars and the worship of Krishna. There are so many religious teachings in the world. It is very rare to get Krishna consciousness. Actually, we were once visiting, now I'm forgetting his name, the doctor, living in Delhi.
Jai Kumar Prabhu.
Jai Kumar Prabhu, and his mother was visiting from South India. Oh, you were there too. So it was very funny in many ways. One thing is, there were several rooms in the house, and I was taking one of the rooms, and I thought, oh no, I'm probably taking the room that she would be staying in. But actually all the other rooms were empty. They were all sleeping together in the same room. They weren't like divided up at all. The kids, the husband, the wife, the mother, and a nephew, they were all staying in one room. That was one thing. And also she was cooking fiery hot.
And laughing.
And watching me eat, with tears coming out of my eyes. Just like desperately on fire.
She thought it was hilarious.
Rolling on the ground. She was laughing so hard. She just couldn't wait for me to start. But the other thing was that she was constantly watching religious television from South India. I mean, it goes on 24 hours a day as far as I could tell. And it's like an ocean of religion.
Right.
And it reminds me of this because he's saying there are so many religious teachings in the world. It is very rare to get Krishna consciousness. And when you see this ocean of religiosity that was playing on the Shanai and Lord Shiva, and Jai and Lakshmi and Narayan and Ganesh, and I mean it's really oceanic. And I thought, how did Jai Kumar come out of this ocean and find Srila Gurudev? I mean, with all due respect, I'm not saying anything wrong, but still it was really an experience for me to see all of that. And I thought, oh my God, there's just so much to it, and things you can do all day long, and on special occasions and marriages, and it's like you can take up your whole life easily. The Vedic religion's main teaching is that you must be pious. You must follow the rules and regulations, vidhi, of the Vedas for proper social and religious life. The Vedic religion teaches that if your character and behavior is very clean, then you can worship and satisfy the Lord. Respect is 90% of Vedic worship. Respect is 90% of Vedic religion, Vedic worship. Who to respect, when to respect them, how to respect them. Vedic religion enables you to respectfully worship the Lord in his form as Rama, Nrsimha, Narayan, or otherwise. Through mantram and many instruments of worship, you can offer your devotion from a distance to the Lord according to the proper rules and regulations. The worship of Krishna is very different from the formal worship of Vedic religion. To worship Krishna, you must offer pure love. affection, and the hankering of your transcendental soul. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this process and mood of worship, which is known as Raga Marg. The speciality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's religion is love and affection. That is the only property used for worship in the line of Krishna consciousness. Through attachment to Krishna, love and affection for him develop. Love and affection are the most attractive to Krishna, and as one's love and affection for him grow more and more, Krishna becomes more and more satisfied. If someone has love and affection for Krishna, then anything and everything they do will be satisfying to him. Any soul with that type of transcendental property is most fortunate. Persons who perform Vidhi Marg like to worship Lord Ramachandra or Lord Narayan or other avatars of the Lord, but persons who prefer the mood of love and affection for the Lord, Raga Marg, must be attracted to Krishna. And you were mentioning Brihad Bhagavatamrita yesterday, Munindra Prabhu, that you are all reading the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is an astonishing book. And it begins with Vidhi. I mean, it's not beginning from, like where we come from or where we're trying to extract ourselves from. But it begins with Vidhi Marg. Like, it begins on a high position. You think, oh, this is it. That's all you want to know. But there's 3 more volumes, of this development of very fine and understandable, arguable levels of pure attraction to the Lord. And Gopakumar is going through all different levels of the heavenly planets, and then beyond that, on the outskirts of the consciousness of matter, are all the material sort of elements in their full manifestation to attract the souls who are trying to come out of mundane consciousness in full enjoyment. And he's just going right through there. Then he comes, to Sadashiva Loka and so many things, and learning so many things, and then going to the gates of Vaikuntha. Oh, it's so astonishing. So that we have these details of the different gradations. And Guru Maharaj said, this is called Vigyan. Vigyan means systematic understanding of things. So Gyan is very general. There's this. And then Vigyan is very, very particular, like different levels of... And then Guru Maharaj said, even in Vrindavan, there are so many gradations. Even in Madhura Ras, there are so many gradations of relationships with the Lord. So, we're beginning to try to understand. So there's so much. There's just very, very, very much to worship in different levels. So anyhow, in this way we can understand Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, reality the beautiful. And it's really understandably true. It's not like, well, we believe those, this is arguably true. Everything we desire we can find fully within Krishna. We want charm, beauty, love, affection, and ecstasy. We want success in our lives. All of these are fully present and alive within Krishna consciousness. All ecstatic activity is found in full in the Krishna conception. If we will try to search for a reason to serve and worship Krishna, then the answer will come. that everything we need is fully manifested in an effulgent way in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, we will find everything that we need. So we must worship Krishna. And that part with the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, again, where Krishna is not getting out of bed. You know, he's the Lord of Dwarka. He's living in these palatial. We can't even conceive of the private quarters of Krishna, where there's so many queens, thousands of queens, and then his inner circle of those 108 queens, and all of them, and he's not getting out of bed because he's just missing Vrindavan. So it's really astonishing.
And how the Gopakumara, the main character, how he make advancement.
Yeah.
Not such big quality, like externally, like being very knowledgeable or being very expert in puja, this and that. No, he always kept his heart simple as Gopa. He is a Gopa.
That's so true.
And always faithfully chanting his mantra given by his Gurudev. And don't pay attention to any position. He become Brahma, he become king, he become superintendent of Puri temple. Everywhere he goes, he gets position. But he's not affected by that. He's actually become unsatisfied because of the position. And he take him away from like spontaneous relationship with God that he cultivating in his heart. So he always unsatisfied by this and go up and up and up.
Really?
Amazing.
It's so true. Like
Amazing.
anytime you go to one position, you think, this is the most wonderful thing. Always in relation to the Lord. Always. You think, this is the most wonderful thing, the most beautiful, wonderful position. I'm so satisfied. And then gradually, because of his mantra, because of this divine mantra given by his guru in the beginning, some feeling, some hankering in the heart would awaken. No, I want to. And then immediately, Astani Stita Shruti Katam, Guru Maharaj said, that means that when your heart begins to hanker, the Guru will come and you will be able to hear something. Well, isn't that interpretation? And then and someone who come, and now in Salt Lake City we're reading Narada's instruction to Gopakumar before going to Vrindavan. Such extensive instructions from Narada. And he's getting shy. Narada's getting shy. I shouldn't be talking about this. I'm not qualified, And now he's saying, you listen to Uddhava. I can't say anymore. Who am I? It's really amazing.
And his big book, I don't know if you read, like 3 volumes. You read?
Some.
But it's condensed in Search for Sri Krishna. The conception is there.
Yeah. And Guru Maharaj, in the beginning, is saying that Brihad Bhagavatamrita is eternal. And sometimes it becomes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. So suddenly, I always wondered, because King Parikshit is by the banks of the Ganges waiting for the snake bird. Good, let's get this done. I'm done with this. I want to go. This is Krishna's mercy. And then all the sages are arriving to give him advice. Because the Pandavas are so famous. Everyone immediately knew what happened. They all came to give him advice, just assembled on the banks of the Ganges. And some is giving this advice, and some are giving this advice. And King Parikshit said, please, talk amongst yourself and make one advice, And then suddenly Sukadeva arrives, and everybody stands up. He's naked. He's a young boy, but they know he's a Brahmavadi. He's fully realized in Brahman, and Guru Maharaj said he was selected for that quality by the Lord to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam because everyone would listen. But the thing is, when King Parikshit's mother came at the end of that hearing of the Bhagavatam, she comes, Uttara comes, oh my son, come, and King Parikshit said, don't lament, mother, we are all eternal, sir. And she said, yes, my son, but what did Sukadeva tell you? It was really sweet. And then, so the Brihad Bhagavatam is always King Parikshit. It's this conversation that's being given. But his retelling, I always thought, how did his retelling of the Bhagavatam or his answer to Uttara come in the form of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita? I couldn't make that connection, really understand that. Because they're quite different. But then Sanatana Swami is describing that again the Brihad Bhagavatam was manifested through the mouth of King Parikshit, and then repeated by Jaimini Rishi, who was sitting there, and he told Janamejaya, "Oh, your grandmother said this, and this Brihad Bhagavatamrita came out from the mouth of King Parikshit, repeated by King Janamejaya, and then again manifested by Sanatana Goswami, many thousands of years later." And so we get to hear this as the treatise on Sambandha Gyan, given by Sanatana Goswami. Oh dear, we have 1 minute before breakfast. But anyway, it reminded me of this because, then we can understand systematically that the Krishna conception is clearly like the sweetest conception and the highest relationship between the soul and the Lord. I mean, not that I understand anything, but it's given there very clearly for anyone who can catch it.
Jai.
Okay, Jai.
Beautiful.
And this is revealed truth.
Jai.
Jai. Everything that is true must be revealed. We can't cook it up in our brain. It has to be revealed. But so we're actually worshiping these books. Everybody knows all these things, but it's just nice to talk about it. Remember?
In our mind, we can cook only fake quiche.
Yeah, the Disneyland version. So, do we have time for her small?
Yes.
Can you?
Oh, good. Someone from there's 2 million players over here. Oh. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Yadavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Rashi Madhusudan. Girinari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Chaitanya Nityananda Jai Sivarika Shishi Guru Gauda Sundar Radha Giri Hari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Panuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Shri London morning program Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Revealed Truth Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Tuti Devotee Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari